If Nightfall Vader was the most powerful character in Star Wars, how come he couldn't use Force Lightning? Well, it turns out he kind of did, and as far as Darth Vader with the suit goes, it comes down to how his body was cybernetically designed with mechanical arms, specifically being unable to produce the deadly energy. This raises up even bigger questions though, like could Vader, if he somehow didn't have the cyborg body, use it, and why did he die from such a small dose of lightning from the Emperor? Today, I'll explain all of this and more, mainly looking over all the different Legends material on this topic. So Force Lightning almost always required a living conduit for the energy to be channeled. Thus, Darth Vader, despite being an immensely powerful Sith Lord, was never able to properly employ this ability, as any attempt to generate it created the risk of shorting out his life system supports. In addition, Vader's life support systems were not well insulated, and the system's delicate circuitry was vulnerable to the damaging effects of Force Lightning. This vulnerability would eventually contribute to his death in Return of the Jedi. And it is also very true that Palpatine designed his suit specifically so that he would have Force Lightning as a weakness so that the Emperor could exploit it whenever he needed to punish Vader for his crimes against him. Now we're going to look over Vader's variant of Force Lightning, which was a ability in Legends that he actually was able to use at one point. This was a particular variant of Force Lightning utilized as an alternative for Vader, who was unable to generate it normally. He could summon Force Lightning from directly above an opponent and then directing it from a storm he generates with the Force. In the Revenge of the Sith visual dictionary, under Darth Vader in the data file, it says, as a result of having artificial arms, Darth Vader will never be able to conjure Sith lightning nor be invulnerable to it. That's probably why Vader suffered so much in Return of the Jedi, and why Palpatine wasn't affected by it in Revenge of the Sith, although Palpatine was left physically deformed. In the Revenge of the Sith game, which is now Legends as it was released before 2014 with the Disney acquisition, we can see Nightfall Anakin, or Vader at this point, use Force Lightning on multiple different occasions, making this the one real usage of it from him, even if it isn't in canon. So like in the bonus level when Vader confronts Obi-Wan on the Death Star, Vader is able to cast Force Lightning, and this was not possible because of Vader's mechanical arms. Anakin in the game can use Force Lightning as soon as he turned to the dark side, but in the films he didn't learn that power at all. So the interesting thing here is, would he even be able to learn this in this part of the movie, or in this case game? And I don't know, it really doesn't make too much sense because I believe Revenge of the Sith takes place over about a week or so, especially after Order 66, until the birth of Vader would only be a couple days if I had to guess, maybe a week in that period. So the big thing that doesn't make sense there is how he would be able to learn that ability so quickly, and yet we do see his powers in like basically every other regard, including dueling and everything else, jump up dramatically from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. So like, surely once he tapped into the dark side, he was able to go to lengths that are like beyond any other user of the Force ever, as he was the chosen one. But even with that said, I don't know that he would be able to learn Force Lightning, and I don't really think it would fit in the movie, but also I'm sure if it wasn't there, I'd be here saying it did fit, so it's kind of hard to tell. Keep in mind though that the canonical proof for this is scant at best. All we have is a short sentence in Rise of Darth Vader saying his arms and legs were mechanical and he doesn't ever cast Force Lightning. It doesn't even say because his arms were mechanical he could never cast lightning. So if I wanted to be really difficult, that being someone on the Wikipedia page was actually saying this in response to someone back in 2007 talking about if Vader could use Force Lightning. Basically they're saying that it was just a list of unrelated disabilities that he had, and that his inability to cast lightning was because of something else. And the parts about him being unable to cast the power because his mechanical limbs would short circuit are, according to this person, fanon speculation, And canonically, we don't know why Mecha Limbs negated his electronical capabilities. This was in response to a comment above saying Darth Vader cannot use Force Lightning because of his severed arms. Robotic hands can't summon the Force Lightning, however Darth Vader can still use other forms of the Force, such as Force Choke or telekinesis. Now we will look over some more stuff from the Wikipedia article about just Force Lightning in general to further understand it and how it wouldn't really work with Vader. Though the short-term effects of Force Lightning are obvious, the sheer power invoked by its use could have insidious long-term effects, both on those subjected to its power and those who would wield it. It could deform the person being shocked, and it could also lead to them being crippled. It was even known to cause brain damage and blindness. Prolonged exposure to intense electrical fields, such as a sustained current of Force Lightning, caused most humanoids to experience sudden and massive calcification of their skeletal system. The abrupt drop in blood minerals provoked muscular microseizures all over the victim's body, and intense enough doses of Force Lightning will also have the victim having his or her skeletal system being seen through the body, as demonstrated with Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi and Mace Windu in Revenge of the Sith. However, this does not impact the user if it is redirected at him or her. This is especially evident with Sidious shortly before his death. Some have actually speculated that Vader used Force Lightning when deflecting Han's blaster shots in Empire Strikes Back on Cloud City, but the better explanations for that is that he simply used the Force to deflect the energy, or that the Glove of Vader thing from Legends is true. In summary, in case you have no clue what I'm talking about, the Glove of Vader was a Mandalorian crush gaunt fitted with one of Lord Skir Khan's indestructible Sith amulets. The gauntlet was worn by Darth Vader upon his right hand, and although both gloves for Darth Vader's armor contained micronized Mandalorian armor as a means to deflect direct hits from blaster bolts, a feature made redundant due to his Force abilities, the glove possessed exclusive features compared to the left glove, including grip augmentation circuitry. The glove survived, however, and basically after the Battle of Endor, the glove survived and was ensnared within a piece of wreckage that landed on the watery world of Dock. It had been pulled through a wormhole created by the explosion of the hypermatter in the Death Star's core. And at first I didn't understand this because I was like, well, Vader got burned on Endor later, but if you really think about it, Luke did cut his arm off, and that seems to be where that went, and then it went through the explosion of the hypermatter, and that's how it survived. Also in the canon 2017 Vader comic run, we see him in issue 25 using red Force Lightning against Palpatine while in a vision, which is actually very similar to the red Force Lightning of the Sun we see in the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars. But anyway, that's it for this video. You can subscribe if you want to. You can also become a member now, because members are going to be getting what ifs every single Wednesday, and you also get to request whatever what if you want me to do, so I will do literally whatever you asked for pretty much. Also, we have a new spring drop for the merch coming out in early April, but yeah, see ya.